Just briefly, as a pivot and a preamble to our other topic, and again, the disclaimer, everything that we offer is just our own personal biases. It's completely legally unqualified and not to be relied upon by anyone. It's just us talking through our, you know what. Okay, so, but we wanted to do the preamble to brief it down. The first rule, you want to take something, you want to put it a brief, the issue, the rule, what was it? Facts issue, rule, decision. We forgot how to brief stuff. Basically, the question that we had personally is basically, based on a lot of confusion on, especially on YouTube, people have different opinions, and basically there's apparently people who are just like, you know what, we're just gonna keep doing the way we've been doing it. Again, so to make it make sense, okay, it's gonna make sense later. But basically, the personal question we had is basically commercial filming with the intent of generating income. Does that mean, would that apply to, basically YouTube, TikTok, whatever social media, even Rumble, who knows, of people, mom and pop, regular Joes who don't generate any income? Okay, does commercial filming apply to those who don't generate any income, that have no intention of generating income, that in fact do not generate any income, but they say they upload a family visit to a park, to whatever national park, to a social media platform, and some social media platform, third party, say they insert advertisements, and if revenues raised in terms of a third party provider, which has nothing to do with the author or videographer themselves. So what we're going to conclude later in the full video as it goes along is that it would just seem a very bizarre stretch. It would just seem like utter legal gymnastics if there should ever be a case that proceeds. And we don't want to be the test case for free speech, but it would just, in our completely unqualified, talking out of our just opinion, that it would seem really bizarre for any type of court or any type of agency to construe the reading of whatever relevant regulations as to imply that basically mom and pop regular people basically not making any type of money basically in terms of videos, just and if they happen to upload it to something like YouTube, TikTok, or whatever, Rumble, and in our opinion, it would just be a bizarre stretch to interpret that, basically non-monetized people who don't make money uploading videos, and where basically if there's a third-party provider that inserts advertisements and raises revenue incidentally, not for the videographer, but basically in terms of some service. So if, for example, it would just seem like a very bizarre stretch of the law to say commercial filming means, say a family video that's uploaded to a third-party platform where the platform itself inserts advertisements and generates income, not for the videographer, but for some third party. It just wouldn't. That would just seem a very far stretch. So in terms of people who are non-monetized in any way, who don't make any money from videos, and again, we're going to talk about our kind of almost OCD-ish. It's not because of the interim ruling. We have our own, political biases, whatever. So before the ruling, after ruling, we're unchanged. The way we've always done it, we're not going to raise profit. We're not going to make money. We're never going to monetize. If we find a lost ark and we have 8 million people following, we're not going to monetize anything. We're not going to raise funds. If we can't pay for the gas, we're not going to ask anyone for funds. And we're not going to do any type of memberships, any type of perks, memberships, nothing. So 360 degrees in terms of YouTube, zero money for us. But let's go on with the video. So this is going to be a very odd, unique pivot, and it might be a long ramble with a lot of basically silent time in between because we're working at a small desk. We don't have all the paperwork together. But first, a disclaimer: nothing we say can be construed Nothing we say is meant to be legal advice. Everything that we are going to remark here is unsubstantiated, entirely based on our own personal opinion. It is not any type of, official or unofficial. It is an entirely unqualified opinion about recent changes that have been waiting basically through the regulatory or court systems. It is entirely unsubstantiated personal opinion, and it is not to be relied upon towards anyone's benefit or towards a detriment. So basically, if people get people read it the wrong way, they get in trouble, they get fined, don't come back to us. So we're just giving an opinion here, as many other people have done. So unsubstantiated, unqualified opinion. So basically, there's been a lot of hoopla, in our opinion, about basically commercial filming. So there's our interpretation. Again, everything is interpretation. We might even get the regulation wrong, but there's a code of federal regulations, right? But basically, there was, so short story. You know what? We're gonna have to retake. This is so botched. Okay, so somewhere, was it 2021 or something? There was a filmmaker, independent filmmaker, right? Commercial film. So apparently, there was an issue where there were also, YouTubers before that had like running a monetized channel that basically went to some national park, and basically, they apparently generated revenue, and basically, the federal authorities said, hey, you need a permit. Okay, so here, and then now, after there was this ruling, the interim situation from 2021 or so, saying that basically you don't need a permit for commercial filming. And later on, sometime late last year, to the best of our knowledge, the interim ruling was basically rescinded, and based on our understanding, it went back to the way things were before. So what does that mean? So if we read here, again, if we read the statute here, hold on. Okay, so based on this particular regulation, the way we're reading it, we're trying to read it verbatim. Commercial filming. Hold on, we should have said begin quote. Commercial filming means the film, electronic, magnetic, digital. Okay, so let's fast forward that. Commercial filming means the film, electronic, magnetic, digital, or other recording of a moving image by a person, business, or other entity for a market audience with the intent of generating income. Okay, and we want to do an emphasis added, with the intent of generating income. You know what? We're actually better at basically writing an essay than we're at talking. We don't understand the disconnect, but basically, so here's what our interpretation, our personal unqualified and interpretation is that, okay, so it's with the intent of generating income. So nowadays, you had a lot of people on YouTube, they're saying you can't film at national parks, you can't film, it's illegal, it's going to be illegal to film if so our opinion is that, okay, so, and there was one sidebar argument. What if, basically someone who doesn't make any money, mom and pop, let's just say they upload a family vacation photo, a video video at a national park, to, for example, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, whatever platform. We don't know how all the platform works. And what if, ads are inserted anyway, even if you're unmonetized by the platform? So it in our unqualified and completely unqualified opinion, it would seem it would seem a bizarre, just arm twisting of a reading of the law. It just seems like you would have to stretch it so far to suppose that commercial filming means any Joe who uploads a video where some third-party provider happens to insert an advertisement, which could be very common today. But to the best of our understanding, even reading the dissent, we would interpret this statute with the intent of generating income. It would seem very bizarre for anyone to read that if you have no intention to generate income, if you're not making a single penny, if you're dirt poor, you're not making any money on YouTube, right? And then let's just say some third-party provider inserts an ad in, basically it would be very bizarre, esoteric legal gymnastics to say, John Doe uploaded video with the intent of making money for YouTube when he doesn't make any money. We just think that would be a very weird, bizarre twisting of the law. And, if anything proceeded to court with that, we just think that would just probably be, again, unqualified opinion. We don't think it's possible to make an argument that, basically if they upload a video to Rumble or YouTube and some third-party provider, puts an ad on it, then that's a commercial filming. So, but on the other hand, we actually agree that here's where we're going to make enemies. So the free speech component, a lot of the popular videos, they just outright denounce going back, rescinding the interim guidance, basically. But we kind of agree with that. We're not biased. First of all, we're not going to make any money. We just stay clear of that. We don't know if there's any type of gray area. First of all, we are unmonetized. We're going to stay unmonetized. We're not going to offer any type of memberships. We're never going to do fundraising, merchandise, memberships, nothing. We are going to be penniless, under the bridge in terms of YouTube, in terms of videos. Okay, no intention of generating income. We have no intention of ever generating income or revenue, and we're not going to ever generate income. We're not going to make a penny, whether now or in the future. So, basically, we kind of agree that if people are basically, the commercial, basically monetized channels, if they're defining monetized channels as needing a permit, we personally have no beef with that. But basically, so again, it's not very clear. So again, it's a gray area, our unqualified opinion. What if some, bureaucrat interprets, well, if a third-party provider inserts an ad into your video, then you are generating income, then that meets the intention of generating revenue. We think that would be a very far stretch, but you don't know, because the law, if anyone is ever studied, we're not attorneys at law. Okay, our opinion's unqualified. We took some courses, that's all, but we're completely unqualified here. But we just as an ordinary Joe, we think it would be a far stretch. And let's go back here to read one of the judges' dissenting opinions here. Judge David Tato. We're going to get the name wrong, so sorry, Judge Neer. But basically, here is one thing that he mentioned here in the dissent. Where is the dissent? Where's the, again, we're trying to go from big screen to a little screen, but basically, okay, so here, let's read the dissent here. Okay, the dissenting judge writes, even in his dissent, quote, he wrote, even a park visitor who takes a 5-minute video on her phone, planning to post it on YouTube, and we're going to add emphasis, okay, let's quote it neutrally. Quote, even a park visitor who takes a 5-minute video on her phone, planning to post it on YouTube and generate advertising revenue, must obtain a permit and pay a fee. Although large commercial filming projects may well involve equipment operators filming subjects and sustain operations that burden park resources and disturb visitors, the government provides no reason to think that individuals and small groups, hold on, it kind of goes on a little bit. To the best of our understanding, the dissent itself doesn't really clarify in black and white, again, our unqualified opinion, in black and white, whether or not basically it's a line between monetization and unmonetized. What if you could argue penumbra? What if it's unmonetized, but let's just say people are raising funds, say they offer a membership, they offer merchandise, they have a store. So we have no idea. We're just thinking, we're just trying to cast a wide scope. So before this, the rescinding of the interim guidance, we weren't ever going to offer memberships, store, raise funds, or monetize. So basically, in terms of anything to do with money as it relates to YouTube, maybe, we'll invest in stocks and stuff, but as it relates to me, social media like YouTube, there is no money in terms of generating profit or raising funds or offering memberships or gaining any type of financial support. Nothing on YouTube as it relates for us. We're speaking for ourselves, but now reading the dissent. The dissent may or may not clarify it based on our opinion. It could just be the justice's opinion. But anyway, the dissent writes. To quote a portion. Quote, the permit regime applies to an extraordinarily broad group of people, ranging from large-scale filming operations to small documentary film crews, to individuals who take short videos on their phones and later monetize this content on social media platforms. The dissent, to emphasize the dissent, and later monetize this content on social media platforms. So the dissent doesn't really clarify the actual, in our opinion, the actual ruling. So does that necessarily mean only those who monetize the content, or does it mean that if a platform places ads against your own will, okay, then that's commercial filming? But let's go back to the original statute. So to the best of our knowledge, people, were filming before the interim guidance. Well, and well before the rescinding of the interim guidance and the issuing of the interim guidance with the court case that came up. So to the best of understanding, if it just went back to the way it was before, if it just went back to the wording of the actual statutes, the way it was before, based on this federal regulation, it just seems, to our unqualified opinion, don't rely on this to your detriment. We don't rely on what we say and get fined thousands of dollars or something. But basically, based on the reading that we read, this regulation clearly says, in part, that basically commercial filming means, and we're going to skip the other parts. Basically, it defines what is filming, but the end part is with the intent of generating income. Our assumption means that it's basically generating income for the person, the filmmaker. It would just seem to be a legal far stretch. Mom and pop uploads a video to Rumble, their family vacation, basically at somewhere. At some national forest, and say if Rumble and YouTube puts an ad against your will, that's commercial. We just think that would just it would take. We just think even a Supreme Court judge would think that would be the most bizarre legal twisting that you can dream of. But it's just our unqualified opinion. If there's legal experts, we would love their opinion here.